Hello, welcome to Zines and Roger. In this video I am going to go over my do's and don'ts of going to a yarn festival. I just got back from a yarn festival yesterday. As I was driving home on the long 3-hour drive back to my house, I was thinking about ways I could share what I'd experienced, what I'd been up to when I was there, and more importantly, share the ideas about what's good and what's not so good about going to a yarn festival. There's nothing that's not good about going to a yarn festival. First things first, looking at the notes I have just scribbled up, do chat to people, get to know the fellow visitors that are at the festival, chat to the vendors, find out why they dye the yarn the way they do, look at the samples and ask about them. Just get to know people and start chatting. It's really strange because I'm, believe it or not, quite a shy person, and I know that people that I've met at yarn shows probably realised that I'm not quite so loudmouthed as I might appear to be, but what you have to do is kind of swallow it a little bit and just ask a question, and that generally leads into more of a conversation, and then you could get the vibe off the person you're talking to, whether or not it's a good combo or not, and then move on if it's a bit awkward. The more you do it, the easier it is, and that's coming from somebody who is normally in the real world quite reluctant to talk to anybody actually. But it is an excellent way of getting to know people at yarn shows, and if you have a favourite yarn dyer or there's a yarn brand that's represented there, you can find out whether or not they meet your values and whether or not that you have the same ideas as they do, and it's just a really lovely way of talking to somebody in the real world, whereas before you might have only chatted online. I think it's good to be aware as well of how busy a festival is, so if people are trying to buy off that person, you kind of know when to take a step back as well. If you do want to chat to vendors more, try towards the end of the day when it's a little bit quieter. Do keep refueled. I have been to yarn festivals and had the hunger shakes because I have been so distracted by all the lovely wool that I've forgotten to eat. And that doesn't happen very often because I like my food. But at yarn festivals, when you're talking to people or just looking at all the I want to say stalls, what's the other word for it? You just get carried away, and thirst is a real thing, and then you get a headache, you're hungry, you get the hunger shakes, you need to sit down. Do take a break. Sit down with a cup of tea and a bit of cake. Go and find the food vendors. It might be that there's a cafe in the area that is holding the yarn show, or it could be that there's loads of different food trucks outside or something like that. Depends on the size of the venue, depends on the size of the event, but make sure you keep refueled with food and drink because it's very important. I also find I make crazy decisions when I'm hungry and spend too much money, so be careful. The other thing as well about keeping refueled and having breaks is that you stood up for a really long time. I mean, if you're there from the start to the finish, which sometimes I will do, especially if I've gone a long way to attend that event, I want to make the most of it. We found yesterday that I went to Wonderwool Wales, by the way, and I'm going to do a separate video about that, so watch this space. These two videos will be hopefully within like 2 or 3 days of each other anyway. Michelle and I, when we went to Wonderwool Wales yesterday, found that we were both achy hips, achy knees, achy legs, because we were just stood up too long, not sitting down. And this slow walk that you get achy legs with this slow meander walk that you do as you just like slowly go from one stall to the other, rather than I can walk 10 miles, sort of 5 miles, and not get achy legs, but I can walk half that distance very, very slowly and it hurts. So take a seat, just sit down. It's just like the most blissful sit down you'll have. to explore the other event options at a yarn show. So are there classes and talks and workshops? Are you going to sign up to them? What do you fancy learning a new technique that you've never tried before? Then there might be a workshop that's right up your street. Go and have a look at the programme before you attend, work it out. Some workshops and classes fill up really quickly, so it might be one of the first things you want to do when you've decided to go to whatever yarn festival, yarn show it is. Yesterday, I know there were classes, but I didn't even consider going to classes yesterday, but we did look at a wonderful mini exhibition to celebrate VE Day that was all knitted, and I will share, I think if it's worked, I filmed a little sequence of the storyboard of VE Day in knitted form, and it was wonderful. And so that I consider that to be a mini exhibition. The other thing we did, which was also an excuse to have a sit down for 10 minutes, was we watched a sheep walk, which is essentially a catwalk of knitted, felted, crochet, handmade, woolly items that were available to buy at the show by the vendors. They modelled them themselves or roped in somebody else to model for them, so that you could see what was for sale, and a broad range of different styles and different what's it called, fabrics and fibres. Make sure you allow plenty of time, because especially if you're going to be getting stuck into chatting to other people, you will not understand where the time has gone, because time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? You can turn around and 3 hours have passed and you wonder how, but it's just because you've been distracted by all the pretty yarn, all the sheep and goats that are there to chat to, if it's a festival that has animals too. I don't know, just walking around, looking at all those things, making decisions, it takes time, doesn't it? So allow yourself plenty of time. If you have come a long way, you might even want to go for 2 days, maybe just peruse the first day, have a few chats, and the second day make some serious purchases. I don't know, but take your time. Don't be unprepared. I've fallen victim to this on countless occasions, because I've just rocked up not knowing what to expect, and I'll be like, oh, I'll be all right. I was exceptionally thirsty yesterday, but I was prepared because I've been to yarn festivals before, so I had a bottle of water with me, and I needed it because otherwise I would have got a stinking headache and had a horrible time, I expect. We had snacks, and we did actually, after we grabbed lunch from a what did we have? We had Spanish tapas. It was really nice, as well as being prepared for things like drink and snacks. Think about what you're going to wear, because you don't know if it's going to be hot or cold. I've been to both absolutely boiling hot venues, and I've been to venues where I'm freezing cold. I was going to say something rude then. So cold, shivering, because I was told it was going to be really, really hot because of all the people and all the bodies. And actually, I think the time I went, it was probably in an afternoon where it was considerably quieter than the morning rush that you get. And I was too cold, but as it turned out that I had a design sample on display at one of the stores, and they let me have my sample of a scarf back so I could wear it around the festival, and that kept me warm. But wear layers, because you can strip some layers off and tie them around the waist, or check them in at the coat check-in place, and then you've got control over what it's going to be like. And plus, somewhere like Wonderwool Wales, yesterday was a beautiful day, and it was really warm. The sun was shining. It was incredible. Really, really beautiful day. I was told by one of the vendors that the past 2 years have been winter coat type days, and they've been stood in their stalls wearing winter coats, hats, scarves, because it's been absolutely freezing. Completely the opposite end of the spectrum. So layers. And for me, lip salve is a must, as well as chewing gum. I'm really glad I took the chewing gum yesterday, because the tapas we had was supremely garlicky. And in the afternoon I was talking to a lot of people, so that would have been it would have been bad form. So in whatever ways you think about that might help you have a really good experience at a yarn festival, take the chewing gum, take the water, take whatever to make your visit a really good one. Don't forget to wear your favourite handmade things. You've got to show off. I was amazed yesterday. People, I think there's a competition at Wonderwool, but people were wearing the best hats, handmade hats out of crochet, felt, knitting. And I've never seen anything like it. Some of them were seriously impressive. I was amazed by the array of different designs. So wear your favourite handmaids, because also people may stop you and ask what it is. They may ask you what pattern it is. They may ask you what yarn it is. They may just stop to tell you how fabulous you look in your handmade sweater or whatever it is. So choose something to wear. Funnily enough, no, I had my scarf with me yesterday, but it was too hot, so I didn't wear it. I just had it tied around my bag. So I actually was almost not representing my crochet because I was not wearing any. I had it tied around the bottom of my bag, so hopefully people could see it just swishing around. It definitely does strike up conversations though, and I think that's a really good thing in an environment like a yarn show, because basically we're all there for the same thing, which is to share our love of our favourite hobbies. So definitely worth doing. Next one, don't start buying too soon. I've learnt this the hard way again. I have spent far too much money before because I've just started hoovering up all the things that I've fallen in love with. But the thing is, you will fall in love with practically everything. So you've got to make wise decisions and make brave choices. And that means not buying anything as soon as you walk in the door. Don't do that, because you'll blow your budget straight away and then you'll be sad. What I suggest you do, and I think I've always done this actually. Maybe not the first couple of yarn shows back in the day. I say back in the day, I'm talking like 2017. That's when I first started going to yarn shows, and yeah, I used to just buy what I wanted. It's not wise, I don't think. I wouldn't recommend it. I now take a shopping list and allow myself to veer off it a little bit if I want to. But the shopping list is key because it allows you to stick to what you need, and that's a strong word because you don't ever need anything. And it started to work much better now. I'm far more rigid in my buying practices, but that's because we do a recce first and just walk around first, make your decisions, and then go back and buy. The risk is that maybe by that time the yarn is sold out, but I don't think that's ever happened to me. Have a shopping list, probably have a budget that you're going to vaguely stick to as well. But you know, you can buy yourself one little treat skein if you want to as well, can't you? I think that's important to treat yourself to. The next one is totally up to the individual, but I would say don't go on your own. I've had far more fun and lasted far longer, because I flag quite easily. I've lasted far longer when I've had a buddy to go with, and it gives me the confidence as well to strike up other conversations with other people and listen into the conversations that my friend has started with people that she might know too. I've been with Michelle from Dora Explored yesterday. I went with, sorry, and we've been to yarn shows before, and also with Faye from the I was going to say Crochet Circle podcast. I don't know if I think she's now just Faye Dashper Hughes. But if we go with pals, then I think it's a bit more fun. I do go on my own as well. I've got a local yarn show that's about 30 minutes from me called Stitch Fest Southwest in Newton Abbot, and I'll go on my own to that one, especially if I know I need some stuff to buy. But that's more of a flying visit. I will do my recce just to make sure there's nothing I'm leaving behind that's super duper precious, and then ultimately I kind of go more in mind of a well, I need X, Y, and Z, so I'll go and buy X, Y, and Z. Chat to a few people, say hello to people I know, but it's not a whole day experience. Going with other people or meeting up with someone when you're there, I think just adds that extra layer of satisfaction, I suppose. I think I just find that I'm more confident and relaxed, and I enjoy myself more when I am with another person. But again, it's entirely up to you. If you want to go on your own, then fine, fine. I think that's it. Have I got any more? I wrote out loads more, but I don't want to go on because some of them, they kind of all fall under the same category anyway. But hopefully that gives you an overview of what you should do and not do at a yarn festival. And obviously don't be rude to people, but you're not going to be, because you'll be having the best time of your life. You'll be in a really good mood, so that's not going to happen anyway. Those are the yarn festival do's and don'ts that are coming from my head, based on my experience. If you've got a different experience, let me know any more do's and don'ts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos about yarn, with a focus on crochet, actually, because that's what I do. I'm a crochet designer. Because I forgot to introduce myself. I never remember. But you'll find me online as Zines and Roger. And I will see you again for more videos soon. Cheerio. Thank you. Bye-bye.